And make sure I got me beers close by. Can't forget the ammo. Alrighty. We good? Alright. Welcome to episode 10, part 2 of the Take It As Gospel podcast. The reason why we're saying part 2 there is earlier we tried to record one, got about 53 minutes through it.
Yeah.
And then went to go
We
review.
finished it.
Yeah, that's right. Went to go review the audio after it, and there was all this sort of stuttering and God knows what else happening to it. So I had to basically scrap that one. But with me is Brody Lawton. I'm introducing him for the second time. We had a practice run, but Brody's my cousin. I've just moved in with him up here at Townsville. Been living together 5 weeks tomorrow. So welcome again, Brody.
Thank you for having me.
I don't know what the hell went wrong with the audio there, but we basically had to try and pump out a second one tonight. Hopefully we can provide the goods. I think with one under our belt, mate, we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, I
again.
think we'll be good on this one. Yeah. You'll get the invoice in the mail the next couple of weeks, I think, for
mate, that's right.
the overtime. But
You just won't get next month's rent, mate. But yeah, bros. So I guess tell us a little bit about yourself again, mate. Hail from Bowen, obviously.
Yes, yeah. Again, I'd like to say firstly, just apologies in advance if I do say, like I said before, because obviously none of you heard it. But I'll try my best not to do that. So Jake's been living with me for the last 5 weeks now. Before that, I was living by myself for a while, so it's probably been good timing having Jake move in. Good for a bit of company. I grew up in Bowen. Moved up to Townsville when I was 19. Lucky enough to get a job up here. And I've been living here for the last 7 years now. So Townsville's really good though. I actually quite enjoy Townsville in the fact that it's, just sort of a big country town, and there's enough here in the way that there's enough to, keep you busy, but it's not a big city. I don't really know if I'd be able to live in the city. I've never done it though, but
I did my time, mate. And all I can say is, since I've sort of moved up here, I've enjoyed getting away.
yeah.
I don't really miss Brizzy too much. But before when you mentioned you've been here for 7 years, that's surprising, hey?
Yeah. It's gone very, very fast.
Yeah. But what was it like as a young fella moving to Townsville from Bowen? You get your first taste of nightlife and things like that.
Yeah, like that.
What was that like?
It's a bit of a funny one. Like Townsville for me sort of felt like growing up in Bowen. I don't know. A bit of background on Bowen. There's probably about 8,000 people that live in Bowen, so relatively small town. Moving to Townsville for me was sort of like going to the big smoke, thought it was like a big city and, you have nightclubs and all that sort of stuff. And, it was really good. For the first sort of year, me and my mates, being 19-year-olds, we sort of ripped in and
had a good hard
did
dig.
a fair bit every weekend. We were sort of, out and sussing the town. But no, it was really, really good. And we had a lot of fun. And I suppose now we've probably settled down a little bit.
Yeah.
Now that I'm 25.
No, mate, that's all right. That's all right. I'll bring your youth back out. Don't worry. I've probably been guilty of, I think, before we spoke about being bad influences on one another, but, it's one of those things where I just so happen to walk up, move in, and then all of a sudden we're hitting the piss pretty hard every single weekend.
Yeah, coincidence.
Yeah, I think it's just a bit of a coincidence. And then obviously, on the beers again tonight, the beers.
A couple of casual ones.
Yeah, you got to start the week off right. I know mum and dad, they're always fond of a big Sunday sesh. They're usually pretty guilty of staying up till 11 or 12 at night.
Sally does love that, actually. A funny thing Sal told me the last time, it must have been grand final day when you had to work.
Yeah. That's another story.
Yeah, that's another story. Yeah. She was saying, I kind of find if I just keep drinking on Sunday night, then it just makes the start to Monday last longer. If I go to sleep, then all of a sudden Monday's there. So she's like, I'll just keep drinking, and then it drags the weekend out.
That's exactly right.
I don't know if that's exactly how it works, but I mean,
Yeah, mate, the longer you stay up on the Sundays, the longer your weekend's going to be.
That was her reasoning. I loved that.
Yeah. Mate, there's a bit of logic to it. But, mate, just before we've gone to take Harley the dog for a bit of a run down the beach, but we walk outside and you might be able to hear it. We've got the windows open because it's too hot in Townsville to not have the windows open. But there's a bit of breeze about. It looks like we might be getting a bit of rain tonight.
A bit of storm coming.
So,
be good though. Rain's always welcomed in Townsville.
Well, things are starting to look a little bit dry too. A lot of lawns are starting to look pretty dry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you might be able to hear the wind in the background. Unfortunately, we sort of got to the beach and it was still sort of raining, so we're like, all right, well, I guess we'll go home.
Back home.
It gave us a bit of time to reset and reload after the first podcast failed. But yeah, I guess we sort of touched on it a little bit there, but another talking point we had here is, how's it going living with me so far, mate?
Yeah, it's been good so far. I mean, like, I nearly did it. I nearly said like I was saying before. Yeah, you don't really hear all that much because your starting times are different to mine. So, you'll finish 6 or 7 o'clock and be home. So you're only really home at night time. And then, if you can snag a free feed at your parents' house, pretty close to your work, then. So, I mean, it's good.
Yeah, that's right. Well, like, that's the thing. Like, with me finishing at sort of 5, some nights 6, I just go straight back to mum and dad's. That's where I park my car to avoid having to pay for street parking. But because it's only a minute walk from the office, I often go back there. And if it's a bit of a late finish, mum and dad are always like, "Oh, just stay for dinner," and then free feed. Why not?
Exactly.
So, and like always, they love sort of having me around. I love spending a bit of time with them too. So, sometimes I get back here at 7:30, and but yeah, we, like you said, we bloody make up for it on weekends.
That's it. The best thing about it, I think, is having someone like-minded. If you want to get on the beers, you don't make me feel bad about it. So
that's right, mate. I rarely turn down.
I think it's worked out pretty well.
Oh yeah, bloody oath. But so that's going all right. We're both borderline alcoholics. We've both, thinking about getting business cards for...
High functioning, though.
Yeah, exactly right. And then another thing you sort of wanted to get into as well is, like, we sort of only really got to know each other within the last couple of years, eh?
Yeah.
Sort of...
When did we actually first meet each other?
Well, I remember meeting you when I was a young fella, like...
Very long time ago.
Yeah, like a touch carnival somewhere, and I think you were passing through, like, Gladstone or Calliope.
Yeah.
And you guys stopped in and saw us when we were living on the farm. Yeah. But I think that was like before school or something, and it was like one morning.
Yeah. You're only a little tacker.
Yeah. Running amok. And then, it wasn't really until mum and dad actually moved up here in 2017 that like I started coming up pretty regularly to see them on holidays. And then I don't know, one day I think it was Easter. Remember when Troy had Easter so Troy's Brody's brother, he sort of had Easter at his house one year.
Yeah.
Might have been 2017. So we went out to Troy's, and then that's I think when I first sort of met you. And then I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna probably go out to the Mad Cow this weekend if you want to come. And then I think it was like that weekend, like maybe you and Nadia came over and we had prees at ours, maybe.
Yes.
I think that's how it all went down.
Yeah.
But I think that's only sort of only 3 years ago.
And here we are living together.
Yeah, I am living together. Mate, always a blessing. Mate, always a pleasure, never a chore. Mate. Yeah, so I mean, it's going all right so far, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. I think we're both doing pretty well. We had no fights.
Yeah. Imagine us just having a full blown a big blow up. But yeah, I guess you've already probably talked about what it was like growing up in Bowen.
Growing up in Bowen was very good. I think having that. Growing up in a small town, I think you have a really, really close group of friends, and everyone's close, in proximity as well. So come the weekend, all your houses are pretty close to each other, so you just walk to everyone's house, and it was really, really good growing up in Bowen. I'm very grateful for the childhood I have, to be honest.
Yeah.
Going to a smaller school, and I feel like the mates I had in high school were some of my best mates. So, definitely rate it.
Yeah, and for me, I always like Brandy and I always talk about like we're grateful to have grown up in small towns, living regionally, and then also like for you sort of getting the experience living up here in Townsville. Like for us, like we sort of had experiences of living in Brizzy. But yeah, just I don't know, it's a real different childhood when you're growing up in the country.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's a bit looser,
I think you can get away with a bit more as a kid.
Yeah, that's it. I think your mum and dad are kind of like, oh well, let them play up, and then if they hurt themselves, like
They'll learn.
they'll learn. Yeah.
One way to learn.
That's right. But yeah, and then obviously, mate, for work, I don't want you to have to bloody keep repeating yourself. But unfortunately,
Again, no one's heard. So.
due to some technical difficulties, tell us a little bit about your work, mate.
Yeah, so generally when I get asked this question, I always say, so I'm an audiovisual technician. When I say that to people, I usually get the response of, oh, yeah, okay. But, you can sort of tell they're like, what's that? What does that mean?
So Brody, tell us what it is.
Yeah. So
Break it down.
basically like day-to-day work for me is just installing projectors, TVs, sound systems, control systems, security, TV, MATV, all that sort of stuff, which is really, really good, and I really, really enjoy my job. I think I'm very, very lucky to have the 2 jobs that I've had in Townsville since I've lived here. But yeah, it's really good for me because I'm the sort of person that doesn't really like sitting still, and it's good in that way where we're on different sites every day. We're dealing with different things all the time, so you're constantly having to keep up with it all. So I really, really enjoy my work, and I'm quite lucky to have a pretty good job up here. So
yeah, and so like how'd you sort of get into it? Because weren't you telling me a while ago, like you sort of started working at, was it Retrovision?
Yeah.
Like back in Bowen?
Yeah.
Back in high school, was it?
Yeah, the old,
was that
the
sort
old
of...
Retrovision. Yeah, I think that was probably a little bit of a catalyst for it. So Retrovision was one of my part-time jobs in high school, and I used to just sell, TVs, and like we'd sell white goods and things like that as well. But then we started doing like install sort of service where if someone bought a TV, we would go out to the house and set it up for them, or like a sound bar, like really, really basic stuff. But then, when I was in Bowen at the time, I was sort of thinking, oh, yeah, right, I wonder, like, this is pretty cool. I wonder if you can do this for an actual job.
Yeah.
So, I started doing that for a while. And then, when I turned 18, I just sent a few emails to some people, some companies. I just Googled it and was lucky enough to get an interview with a company up here and then get a job out of it. So, I was very, very lucky. But I think that's definitely where it stemmed from. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, bloody oath. And like we're talking that it's probably one of those things that maybe in the future might eventually, become a trade, or even could potentially end up being like a bloody uni degree.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about the audiovisual industry. I guess it's not an actual trade. Like when I say my job role or whatever, it's not a trade, like being an electrician or a plumber as such. But it's definitely going that way where it's sort of going to be a necessity to have people that are skilled in that sort of thing, like especially with COVID hitting this year and video conferencing and all that stuff being very, very important. I think it's only going to go that way. So it'd be good to have some sort of pathway for it for people that want to do it. I don't know how many people there are out there that are interested in it, but I mean, my sort of pathway into it was just lucky. Like again, I said lucky, just lucky enough to get a job. But for someone out of school or whatever wanting to do it, it'd be good to have a pathway like doing a 3-year course or some sort of TAFE or something like that.
And that's the thing, like, we got the old Google Homes, the old Alexas, you got the old like the lighting sort of systems you can control from your phone.
Security, everything.
Yeah, everything's controlled by an app on your phone these days. So there's obviously a lot of room for growth in that field, and I think you'd be silly not to think that there's only going to be more demand for people that can install shit like that.
For sure.
So, mate, you're in a good field.
I like to think so.
One of those ones where, technology seems to be taking over a lot of professions, but someone's got to install the technology.
That's right. Someone's going to maintain it.
Yeah.
That's us.
So there you go, mate. I reckon you'll always have work.
Yeah, I'd like to think so, yeah.
Unless the, robots start taking over and start fixing
doing
themselves.
my job for me, yeah.
But also, like, I guess the other side of that, and the other day we were talking about was, like, you can sort of do, like, set up heaps of festivals, but that's something you didn't
Yeah,
really
no,
enjoy.
not really. I think that's a lot of people think that when I say audiovisual, they think, you do events and things like that, like live events, which is totally separate. So I actually really don't like doing live events at all.
Yep.
Because it's usually pretty shitty work. Usually you're just loading things, unloading things, setting them up, packing them up, and you're always working at ridiculous times. Like, events are always on weekends. So you're working Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday mornings, things like that. So doing live events is awful.
Yeah.
And I genuinely hate to do that. But yeah, so my work is all just the permanent install side of things. So I can stick to it Monday to Friday, 7 to 3.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Happy days. And there'd be a lot of shit that could go wrong at those events, hey? Like,
and that's it. You're constantly under pressure. Like I've done it in the past. I mean, they can be rewarding depending on what the gig is, if you get to see a cool band play or something like that. But to do it constantly, then not for me.
Yeah, be tough. But yeah, like the podcast setup, mate. You gave your thoughts on it. Not
Pretty
bad.
good. It's pretty good.
Well,
it's budget,
but yeah, but
it's
that's
pretty
the thing.
good.
We spoke about it's pretty good, but then it fucked up before, so it can't be too good, eh?
It does the job.
It does the job, and then all of a sudden the audio doesn't work.
Go to listen to it back. Have to do it again.
God, if this fails, I reckon I'll just give up podcasting.
Might be podcasting for Keano.
Mate, that's it too. Episode 10. Like I said, it's just no one thought I'd ever make it past 3, but to get to 10. I probably will quit at 10 if this bloody thing fails. So
this could be the last one.
Yeah. A decade of podcasts. Nah. So yeah, all right. I've got my little gripes out of the way with that. But yeah, if anyone could recommend some good podcast recording software to use, I'd be all ears. I'm sure I could find out by doing a bit of research, but hey, I like to be a little bit interactive with the listeners and that sort of thing. But and obviously this week we got game 2 of Origin, so how good. And last week we had the pleasures of sitting on the patio watching it on the big screen with the projector. That's the pleasures of living with a fellow who works in AV is, you get the good setup, good surround sound setup. A good outdoor viewing experience with the projector, the footy on the big screen. I guess, you got to be kitted up if that's your profession, eh?
That's it.
But yeah, your reaction to the game, mate. What are your first thoughts?
I'm still blown away, to be honest. I'm a diehard Queensland fan. And I was I was carrying on something chronic after that win. I still can't believe we won.
Just Brody, you were just like, you're speechless for about an hour or two after it. You're just like, how good? Can't believe we just won that. I can't believe we just won that. 10
minutes later, you're trying to ask me, you were having a normal conversation. I was like, can you believe we just won Origin? No, but it was unreal. I was genuinely so surprised that we got up. I mean, I still had faith in the boys. I wasn't completely like, New South Wales will roll us, but I definitely thought that they'd win.
It was just a matter of like, how close is it going to be?
Yeah, I thought they weren't going to destroy us, but I thought they were going to get the W in the end. But how good.
And as we like, the other day we were talking about like it has a real 1995 feel about it.
Yeah,
everyone just writing off Queensland, and then all of a sudden,
names.
Yeah, all these new debutants. Obviously, for Queensland, some standout performers on debut was, you had Capewell, who had a blinder.
Yep, AJ
Brimo, blinder. That's probably, in terms of debutants, they were probably the 2 standouts. Hey?
Absolutely.
Then obviously
Xavier Coates did his job.
Yeah.
He did well, scored a try.
Bit of meat. How excited was he after the game?
Post-match interview was all time, man.
He was just like... He was like a kid in the candy store.
Yeah, that was like me after the game. That's how I was like. Yeah. How good's this?
Mate, you weren't even the one who scored on debut, but you were just as excited.
Nothing to do with it.
But yeah, and then like that's what I mean. We got game 2 this week. Blues have made their changes. We're familiar with the changes now, if I can remember off the top of my head. They got Payne Haas in to start.
They've thrown him in to start.
We're all for that. I think Big Dale Finucane, which I still haven't fact-checked that one, but I don't think he played last game. And Luke Keary, he's been given the flick. I'm not big sure about that one.
Yeah, big call.
I think he's played in plenty of big games before. He had the Rabbitohs GF, all the Roosters GFs he played in. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, so Cody Walker comes into the starting side at 6.
And... he did have a good game. Cody Walker is one of their better players, I thought, in game 1. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised. I thought if you're going to switch it up,
Very different role for Cody Walker, though. You know, coming on as that number 14 or you know, that interchange player.
Well, that's it. I reckon that suits his style better because he's explosive.
Because he can just do what he wants.
Yeah.
Chime in when he needs to, rather than having to, you know, worry about 5'8". And I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on Nathan Cleary, to be honest, because Luke Keary can be that dominant half if he needs to, and I don't think Cody Walker is of that spec. He's very much that, you know, very, you know, spontaneous, running, plays what's in front of him. So Cleary's going to have to do a lot of all of it, really, all of the controlling of the team.
Steer the team around the park, for sure. I don't know. I was surprised. I thought if they were going to bring in someone, I thought they would have brought in Jerome Luai.
Yeah.
And then ran the Panthers combo at 6 and 7. It would have made sense, I thought. But, you know,
and then leave Cody Walker where he was.
Yeah, that's it. And, like, you know, we're not Origin level coaches, so what the fuck would we know?
Exactly.
But on the Maroons side, you know, poor old Brimo's gone down series-ending injury.
Disappointing.
He's having surgery too, so I mean, you know, quality replacement, and Val Holmes coming in to return to the Maroons and put the Maroons jumper back on, and so that's good. Someone who's been there, done it before.
Yeah, and Christian Welsh is out.
Yeah, we
still didn't research that.
Still didn't research what because we saw him go down with injury.
Yeah, so we don't know if he's injured or
be dropped. I just can't see him being dropped because like
surely not. He played well. Very well.
Played very well.
And then who else is Cohen Hess?
Yeah, Cohen Hess got the hook. Which, well, before the series started, I thought Jaden Sewell would have got the start just on form, but they've made that change for game 2.
Yeah, I think it's a smart play.
And Fodawaker comes on at 17 on the bench. Is there any other changes on the bench? That was it. A lot of people probably calling for... Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people probably calling for Philip Sammy to maybe lose his wing spot, but he's retained that. I think a lot of people wanted to see Corey Allen come in.
Yeah. Because
he was playing outstanding for Rabbits back end of the year. But, yeah, really looking forward to game 2. It'll be good. You know, going to Sydney... What's your prediction, Broads? What are you thinking?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Hey, there's so many different things about this Origin this year. Like one, it's in summer, it's not winter. It's week to week rather than that sort of 3-week gap in between. You know, a lot of players that haven't played finals, they've been off for 5 weeks or whatever, and then there's other players that have gone through the whole thing.
Fucking Broncos.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that for you, Jake. Sorry. And then other players like, you know, James Tedesco and Nathan Friend for us. I've done that again. Jake Friend for us.
Yeah, mate, I
did that on Wednesday night. Yeah. I was like, oh, Nathan Friend's playing well.
I mean, like, wait a minute, who's Nathan Friend?
Jake Friend for us, you know, going all the way through, playing a lot of finals games and all that, and even like Felice Kafusi playing the grand final, Cleary. So, bit of a weird mix, but I think New South Wales and Sydney, after the, you know, game 1 defeat, I think they'll be a little bit too good for us. I think it'll be very close. But yeah, my prediction is New South Wales by 4.
Yep.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, bloody oath. Well, that's the other one. Let's also give Nathan Friend credit where it's due, because he was also a very great hooker, underrated hooker.
That is true.
You know, he had big games with Titans, Storm. He even played in that 06 grand final against the Bronx. He come off the bench, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, right.
So he had a bit of a stint. That's a little fun fact for listeners. And then also, you know, he had a bit of time over at Warriors too, where he did the old backflip pass when he caught the ball. That was a bit of a highlight play. But yeah, so credit where it's due to Nathan Friend, great player. Just want to say that. And then the other change we forgot to mention, Janamis Louis comes in for Kristen Welsh at front row, which I'm kind of happy.
He'll be good.
And another former Bronco player that seemed to slip through the keeper. Killing it down there at the Raiders.
You get that.
That's what happens when you have, you know, the best junior system in place and all the bloody clubs poach your players. Or your club just lets go of the wrong ones.
Yeah. Being a Cowboys fan, I know all those feelings all too well. Yeah. Callum Ponga, just to name one.
The Cheese. Kick out. All in the Cowboys system and are all gone.
All been gone. And and killing it at their respective clubs.
Yeah, that's right. Get your game together, cows. What's going on? But I can't talk, Broncos fan.
Yeah, it's not been a good year for us.
Yeah, if I was to give my prediction, I'd probably say something similar.
Yeah.
Although, it's not unlikely to see a team come back in game 2 and have a convincing win.
Yeah.
If I was going to try and pick the score line, maybe I'd say 24-16 New South Wales win. I'm thinking.
Yep.
And, as I say, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but it definitely benefits the NRL if it's a game 3 decider much rather than a dead rubber. So you're going to see New South Wales are going to get all the 50-50s.
Yeah, you'd like to think so. Being in Sydney as well,
home crowd advantage,
all of that.
But I think it'll go to a decider at game 3, and it's going to be anyone's game.
Yeah, hard to pick that one.
So, if Blues, because Blues are paying $1.30, was it?
Yeah, short odds. Queensland for $3.
It'd be, if Blues do win as favourites, $1.30 makes you wonder what Queensland will be paying in game 3.
Oh yeah,
Will they still be paying $3 at Suncorp?
Could be worth a little cheeky multi.
Maybe. And we watched that. I watched the All Blacks Wallabies game yesterday, and the crowd was pretty packed. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the capacity is going to be for game 3. What's Suncorp, 52,000? I think they're allowed to have 75% capacity. I'd say it'll probably be up around 40,000 if they want. Hey,
yeah,
bit higher.
You'd like to think they'd sell it too.
Yeah,
you'd have to think it'd be a sellout.
Hopefully they. Unless they have to still sort of socially distance people, but you'd love to see them all just in maybe the first 3 stands and just fuck the top one off maybe. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so that's my prediction. Probably 24. What did I say? 24-16.
24-16.
So hopefully Maroons can just fucking seal it in game 2, and then we'll just be like, who cares? Game 3, who cares? But yeah, it's like that year when I think Maroons won, and it was game 3. No, I don't know if they lost or won that series, but come game 3, they won by 50 points.
Yeah,
and just towered them up.
So good.
And I was just like, oh, how good.
Yeah, that was a belter. Oh,
was that a decider?
So good. Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah. And we were all nervous, God, this could be a year we
just
lose.
smacked him.
And just belted him. But that was all right. All for that. But yeah, and then, so this weekend for me has been a real relaxed one. I've decided to have a weekend off. It's been a little bit of a bender every weekend since I've sort of moved up here.
It has been like that.
But, you gotta start well to end well. But yeah, mate, and you've had a pretty big weekend yourself. You want to talk to us through that?
Yeah, I went over to Maggie Island for a 30th birthday this weekend. The bloke invited 50 people, so pretty big one.
Only way to do it, mate.
Pretty big one. Yeah, started off with a golf day in the morning, which I missed because I went out on the Friday night. And stayed out a little too late. You're seeing a running theme.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ended up going over at about lunchtime and caught the boys just after they finished playing golf, and then did a pub crawl around the island. So it was really, really good. And then I was lucky enough to come back on the ferry at about 8 o'clock or so, and then find a lift to Jake's parents' house where Jake was, and he wasn't on the beers for a change.
Oh well,
and got a lift home. So
I was cleansing
had a
my
great
soul,
day.
mate. I was cleansing my soul. It was good timing because I was just about to leave Mum and Dad's house and head back to our residence. And, mate, you called me at the right time. I was like, oh, yeah, about to leave the old soon. And then you're like, oh, sweet, I'm back on the ferry. I was like, yeah, sweet, want a lift? And then
got very lucky.
Yeah. And then you copped a lift up with your mate who used to live with you.
Mate I haven't seen for years.
Yeah.
When I got off the ferry terminal, drove past, he's like, hey, Brody, what are you doing? You need a lift? Yes. Yes, mate.
That's another thing we haven't got into, mate, the ACL. So it came at the right time because you don't have an ACL on one of your knees at the moment.
No, it's pretty busted. So yeah, what did we say? About 6 weeks ago now? I think it was about that.
Yeah, about that.
About 6 or 7 weeks ago. Playing my first game of touch rugby league, which I thought was a good idea. It looks like a lot of fun. I made it through...
Chip and chase, baby.
I made it through the first half. rolled the boys up with a good half-time chat, and then
What'd you say, mate? 0-0, boys. It's 0-0.
it's 0-0, boys. Second half, still a job to do. You know,
We complete our first
we
5.
may have won a few battles here, but we still need to win the war.
It'll be won in the trenches.
We're going to come in here for 40 minutes, and we're going to do it. Melbourne Inga. No, but anyway, I've come out in the second half, and I've seen a bit of open space, got the ball, and went to put on a big Kalimponga right foot step, and got sniped.
Oh no!
And the knee's just buckled in towards my other knee, and they're not really supposed to bend like that, unfortunately. Yeah, it was pretty gnarly at the time. I couldn't do anything when it all happened, so we had to call the whole game off. Ambulance had to come in and had to get taken away and put on some pretty heavy painkillers and
get the whistle.
No, I didn't get the green whistle, but I got I took 6 tablets of some I don't know what they were, but whatever, they were good.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
They were, yeah.
When I got to the hospital, I was feeling all right.
Yeah. It's no pain, no stiffness.
Yeah. So no good on that. I didn't. The silly thing about it was the TRL game was the first game I've ever played, and it wasn't even round 1. It was just a trial game, so I didn't even make the season.
It's all right, mate. As long as you're in the team photo, which you know.
That's it. I'm in the team photo. I'm coach now.
Yeah. So. Mate, all the gear, no idea. All the gear and a lot of ideas, but no.
But yeah, so it's not the best set of circumstances, because I was unfortunate enough to turn 25 in February this year.
Nothing wrong
and
with
I
that,
was on my parents' private health up until then, and I had the option to roll over to a new one, obviously, so you can't stay on your parents when you're after 25. And I thought, oh no, I'm fine. I've never had any serious injuries. I don't need it. 6 months later, do the ACL. So I've had to go through the public system because I need surgery, and it's a year wait. So
filthy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Even if you sign up for private health, you got to wait that 12 months anyway. So.
That's it. Yeah. So I think that's probably what I'm going to have to do. But yeah.
What's it? You should get on to, like, you know, as who was telling you the other day that? Because what happens if you get pushed back, and then someone was telling you?
Yeah. My brother. His wife.
Oh yeah.
She works at the hospital as well. She's been there for a while. So
Yeah. So she was telling you that. Which makes sense if you sign up now that way. At least in 12 months' time, if you get pushed back, then you can do it on the private health. You can just do it. I can, organise it better with my work, and I can, pick the surgeon that I want and all that sort of stuff. So probably be better in the end to do it that way. And the public system, they say it should be a year, but that's just a round figure. Like it could be way longer than that. It's probably a bit harder too, like with hospital capacities and COVID. It's probably a lot longer these days. Unfortunate, actually, but and especially being 25, like maybe in a year's time you thought, oh, maybe I should get private health. But
I probably would have looked into it, in a year's time or so. But not now. Thought I was bulletproof.
Fucking sport, like. Like, I don't know, I've said it, I think I've said it a few times on the podcast before, but I'll be walking through the office and you can just hear my ankles cracking. Like, it's not healthy. I don't know, like, if there's some sort of clean out procedure you can get done on your ankles. I know you can get it done for your knees, but I think, man, I need to get something done with
could
ankles.
Be the same. Hey? Could be the same sort of setup.
Could be. I'd look at it, but, then you got to miss work, and it's not bothering me too much. Sometimes I get a bit of ankle stiffness. Pain or steepness. But yeah, that's all right. You get that on the big jobs.
Well, that leads into probably, you wanted to play some more rugby league.
Yeah,
next year.
Bit of rugby league.
Maybe a bit of rugby.
Maybe a bit of rugby. I don't know. Maybe we'll put it to the listeners, mate. And also, I keep referring to them as listeners, but we still haven't decided whether it's going to be disciples. Because we got to come up a name for the listeners, apparently.
Right.
So, the gang, it's sort of like... But I thought disciples because if you're taking it as gospel, who are the people that follow the gospel? They're disciples, so...
It fits.
It is fitting, but then I said my argument was that kind of sounds a bit cocky.
Will it offend some people?
Mate, if the name doesn't already offend some people, I'm just waiting for the day that someone reviews the podcast and just goes, "This is not a gospel podcast. I signed up for the good Lord." And then they just hear me talking shit. Just someone in America who's just real serious about like religion, and then they hear my fucking voice just.
You're always going to offend someone, really.
Mate, maybe you just start every podcast with a prayer, and then that'll just because you can pray for anything. You know, you can pray for a big safe night on Saturday night.
Yeah, right. I might stay clear of those ones. You might be able to do them in solo ones, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, mate. I know the Lord's Prayer, mate. I went to a religious school, so yeah, mate. I'll rattle off a few prayers if that's what the disciples want, mate. They can get it. But yeah, went on a bit of a tangent there. Back to it. Yeah, so we'll put it to the disciples. Should I play Union or League next year? Never really played.
Throw a C option in there.
Ooh. Do I play soccer? No.
Or just nothing.
Oh, yeah, that could work too. Mum would be happy if I played nothing.
Yeah.
She's sick of seeing me end up in emergency rooms and getting all my shit figured out.
Yeah, so we made a little bit of a list of pros and cons.
Yeah, we did. So, pros. I think probably the top list is Mad Monday. You know, playing a team sport, nothing better than Mad Monday.
Again, with the common theme
of
this household.
Yeah, that's right, mate. Every day is Mad Monday if you want it to be. Make good mates. You know, playing footy, you make lifelong mates.
Do you make good mates?
So, you know, that's something you can't get that anywhere else. Training 2 nights a week, so keeping fit.
Good way to keep fit.
Good way to keep fit. And then just being able to be around the boys 3 times, including game day, but 2 times a week. So, kind of like, I reckon the working week goes faster when you got stuff to do after work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I love playing a bit of touch or something during the week because it's something you look forward to.
Yeah.
So that's 3 pros there. You know, I might just put on, you know, one hell of a performance to get signed and play for the Cowboys. You know, that's also an option.
Mate, they always let the best ones go, so you probably end up in the Storm or something. You know,
mate, I could have made the NRL, but if I didn't do my ACL, oh mate, I was all signed up, ready to go for the Cowboys, but you know, injury robbed me of a lengthy career in the NRL.
Just had, you settle down and get a job. You know, like.
Well, you would have made the NRL if you didn't do your ACL this year.
Exactly. I was pretty well. You know, I was pretty well there.
Yeah, mate. I was just robbed. You know, I was unlucky. I was so unlucky. If I had, like, we were talking about this before, if I had a dollar for every time I heard one of those combos.
Stories, aren't they?
And like, you don't want to be the one that goes, oh, why don't you just stay at it? You know, why don't you just recover and have a crack? But you don't say it because then you probably get punched in the head.
You don't be rude.
You just go, oh, that's unfortunate, mate. Yeah, that sucks. Injuries, cruel.
You would have got there.
But let's not disregard. There is probably a lot of skilled players out there where they just robbed by injury.
Yeah, that is true.
One example that's who's actually coming to Townsville, Cameron King. He is signed up with Blackhawks.
Cows, yeah.
Yeah, he's at Cows.
He had the Eels for a while.
Eels. He's this year just gone by. He was signed with Sharks, but did his ACL at the start of the year. So he's one fella who literally had so much potential.
It was
but
handy.
Handy. Just had so many season-ending injuries, the poor bugger, and then I think he's just had enough of it. You can't blame him. But yeah, it's always like when you're at the pub and some big fat fella comes over and starts telling you, "Yeah, mate, I was bloody, you know, signed up for this team, you know, blah blah blah, would have made it, but you know, just got dodgy knees."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, sure. Oh,
Curly's.
little Curly's out there.
I have to edit that out.
Oh, that's all right, mate. Bit of North Queensland for you.
Well, yeah.
But another thing we wanted to get into, mate, we sort of rambled a bit there, but what is grinding your gears this week, Brody? You know, this is another segment that we sort of spoke about just this afternoon. And I think it's a really good segment idea for the Takers Gospel podcast, you know, episode 10.
Good little sectional area.
What's grinding your gears this week, Brody?
Well, I mean, it's not really been at the forefront of my mind, but we were talking about it in the car on the way home before. Just, you know, being our little gripes with social media. And a big one for me is boyfriends and girlfriends doing, you know, huge big lovey-dovey like anniversary posts and things like that. And I think the only reason really for it is to try and prove to everyone else that everything's going so well or whatever. And you know what I mean? I don't think that needs to be on social media.
Is that really the place?
Just tell them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like, oh, like I was telling you a few examples, how often do you see on Facebook or Instagram, like, oh, happy birthday, darling, blah, 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 blah. And it goes, I couldn't imagine life without
Love
you.
you so much.
And then
and
like
we're
a
going to
year
spend the rest
later,
of our lives together.
oh, a year later, then they're like broken up, and it's just like, oh, well, that worked really well. That's the thing, man.
Yeah,
It's like,
I don't think it belongs on social media.
no.
I was saying before, I can get around birthday posts and things like that because they usually just take the piss out of your mates. That's always good. Post some photos that no one's ever seen in compromising circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah.
But stuff like that where it's just like, oh, I love you so much and you do so much for me and you're just the best thing that's ever happened to me. Just that can be in a text.
Yeah,
Just tell them.
Yeah.
You're probably with
Don't
them.
broadcast.
You're probably with them when you post it.
That's right. That's exactly right, mate.
So that's
yeah, they're probably like laying next to you in bed as you're putting it up. But that's the thing, though. It's just like that's the thing with social media is you almost broadcast like this fake lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like you're never going to see the worst of someone on social media.
No.
It's only ever going to be the best. Like,
so yeah, that's it for me this week.
Yeah, I want to see a relationship post where it's just like, God, you shit me to tears some fucking weeks, but I love you, something like that. Like, and I just want to. Sometimes I want to end it.
What about just without the end part? Just you shit me to tears. Stop doing that, and that's it.
But happy anniversary, yeah.
Happy birthday.
Sometimes I wish you lived in another household, but happy birthday. Give us the honest side of it.
Maybe
Don't give
start
us.
doing breakup posts.
Yeah. What instead of just.
Yeah, instead of like happy anniversary, happy birthday, maybe start posting about the breakup as well.
Yeah.
Like announcing it to everyone.
Ah, so instead of saying like breaking up with them in person,
yeah,
just saying on their wall like.
It's the same as saying happy anniversary by a post, isn't it?
Yeah. Like I really enjoyed the last 5 years with you.
It's just not really.
But it's
working
over.
out. Yeah, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah, show us the full side of the relationship. Don't just show us the good times. Show us the bad.
Anyway, that's it.
But yeah, I just, mate. Sometimes my favorite activity to do on social media is like read all the comments under like news articles and just seeing people just going back and forth.
Just seeing people with no lives.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man, go and like I don't know, get outdoors. But some people just just like the old trolls they call them. But mate, yeah. There's
too much time on their hands, mate.
There's a lot of entertainment in the comment sections. You got to.
They can be.
But yeah, I guess. So that's your grinding your gears. I don't really know. I think that kind of annoyed me too, mate. When you started talking about, it, I was like, yeah, fuck those guys.
I had that too.
What grinds my gears? I feel like I've been put on the spot here.
Probably could have done the research, mate.
Yeah. It grinds my gears when I record a podcast episode. It doesn't work. That G's me up. Oh, mate, there's a lot of things that grind my gears. Just picking a good one,
Mate, I tell you what. If you want to have a little think, take a little pause. I might go for a break to the toilet.
Oh yeah,
what do you
mate.
reckon?
Yeah. I'll just keep talking, mate. You run. You run to the toilet. There's nothing wrong with that. I can sit here and yap.
Just quickly.
While I'm thinking, I've got to try and think and keep talking. I guess I'll try and hold my thought for when you get back, mate. But yeah, it looks like it's going to rain, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's real hot at the moment, but the only thing with rain is it gets bloody humid, and when it gets humid, it's very unpleasant. But yeah, in terms of next weekend, I'm thinking, I don't know, I've had the quiet weekend this weekend. Whereas next, I think I might play up a little bit. Brody and I are thinking of having a bit of a house party. A bit of a house warming party, we should say. You're back?
Nice and quick.
Mate, that was very quick. Wow. I'm not even going to edit that out because that was really impressive. Fuck, that was quick. I was just saying, mate, like, I haven't really been able to think of a grinding my gears thing, but, we're thinking about having this house party, but we've changed our ideas. We're going to, instead of having a house warming party for the two of us, we're going to have, the theme's going to be Harley, the dog's first birthday.
Yeah.
So we're going to get all of our friends and Harley's friends around for a big piss up. And they've got to bring presents for us.
Yeah.
So it'll be 6-packs, maybe. Cartons if you're feeling like it. And then, I don't know, maybe a little schmackos.
Almost like a baby shower.
Yeah, for Harley. So, mate, yeah.
Perfect.
I Oh, I think I've got to think of something that grinds my gears in like shopping centres. Slow walkers, that G's me up. Should get rid of them. You know what? I was telling Dad, I'll give you my little conspiracy theory in terms of COVID. So, which would be shocking. It would be very scary if this was the case. But imagine if like coronavirus was just like the first phase. So everyone who gets it, right, just pretend like all the people who get it, they recover from it and they think, oh yeah, we're in the clear, blah 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 blah. And then like sometime next year, let's just say I'm not putting the blame on China here, but that's the common conspiracy theory is that it was developed by China. Let's just say there's like someone over in China just sitting there with a big red button, and then they just fucking press the button, and everyone who has contracted the virus just drops dead. Imagine that. They just had like little microorganisms inside it that just blew up or something, and they just died. We need to do something about the human population. That's
quite the theory.
Yeah, but something I don't know. Like I'd like to think I thought of that myself, but there's the odd chance that someone else might have thought of that. But I'm putting it out there. You know. Being the good content creator that I am. Brody and I always talk about, we'll always come home. And like whenever I put up a video on Instagram or something, I always walk out of the little music room we got here and just go out to Brody and go, oh mate, you know, it's hard work being a content creator.
That's a tough life. Like, I try and be sympathetic, but I don't really care, to be honest.
Mate, it's so tough. It's just tough, you know.
I'm trying to run a social life. I'm trying to work.
Yeah. Trying to organise all these social media accounts.
I'm trying to stay healthy.
Yeah. How am I going to have time to drink beers? Oh, always time.
I'm trying to stay relevant with all my followers.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard work, mate.
I'm trying to keep them all listening. They just keep going. It's all right. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's fingers crossed this one works, mate. But mate, like, I mean, I guess we can sort of just about wrap it up there. Is there anything we sort of missed? Your plans for next weekend, mate?
Quiet one next weekend, hopefully. Yeah.
No, say that now.
Yeah, I know. Been a few weekends in a row. I think since having you here, we've just been, we've been a bit excited.
Yeah, as you can understand.
Next week might be a little bit of a wind down. Might go and do something. Like go for a drive somewhere or go and see something. To, you know what I mean? Instead of going to the pub,
go do some sightseeing.
Yeah, go on an adventure.
Adventure to the Bottle-O. To Uncle Dan's.
I mean,
it is what it is.
Either way.
I don't know. I'm still undecided about my plans. See what's on the agenda. Don't know.
Well, that's probably one thing I should ask you. How do you find it living here?
Yeah, mate. Oh, I've got no dramas. It's been good. Like, as I've sort of told everyone that I've gone from living in a unit to a house. With the backyard. It's been a while since I've had a backyard. It's good, mate. A lot of people always say to me, well, why don't you just move in with your parents? And I was just like, well, if I'm moving with them, like, I think they get sick of my antics, just coming home late every weekend,
What if you want to bring a girl back?
Oh, well, that too, Me being the gentleman that I am, mate. I don't do that. Always 3 or 4 dates before, I look at bringing the girls back to meet the fam, None of this, one night stand business. But yeah, no, I think I made the right decision. That's for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I think, I don't know. I guess I'll just follow the trend of next weekend. If there's something big happening, I'll be all for it.
Yeah, well, that's the case. If something pops up.
Yeah, there could be another podcast on the cards next weekend with Aaron and Georgia, who I don't work with, but they work for other networks. So yeah. 2 good girls. You've met them both.
Yeah.
Fun chicks. So
they're very good quality.
Yeah. They'll provide some laughs, no doubt.
Yeah.
So
it won't be short of talking points, I'm sure.
No, none at all.
Learn that the hard way. The CV on Sunday.
Yeah, mate. Love a yarn. And then we've got another advice episode planned with Brownie sometime soon. Brownie's neck deep in exams at the moment with uni. It's his last semester, so we're wishing him the best, wishing him luck, and hopefully he can get it all done and ace it all. But yeah, we'll do one of those over Zoom, so we're going to have to probably delay that one a bit with him getting all his last final assessments done. So yeah, best of luck to old Browntown. And then yeah, I guess what we'll have to do, Broads, is think of more grinding our gears for the next segment, mate. Next time you come on, we'll fucking just line them up. Maybe we can spend the whole podcast
just
on
a whole segment on it.
Yeah.
Separate.
I'd be for it. And also, just lastly, Broads, we've got a beautiful feed out there just simmering at the moment.
Should probably check on that.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll wrap it up here. We'll wrap it up now. Well, that's episode 10 of the Take It as Gospel podcast, guys. We're in double digits now, so fucking stoked with that.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Broads, mate.
Thank you very much for having me.
Been a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure, never a chore. But yeah, thanks, guys. It should be out tonight. We'll see how we go. Don't really want to have too much of a late one on me Sunday, but I'll get stuck into it after dinner.
Life of a content creator.
Mate.
It never stops.
It doesn't stop. All right, guys. Thanks heaps. We'll end it there, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers.